Hello everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we are on to our last part of the wild crafting guide. We have looked at rares, we have looked at epics, we have looked at legendaries, we are lastly going to look at the commons. These are the cheapest cards to make, so you probably have the most flexibility with your options and what you want to make, but still, it adds up, so you still want to take things relatively seriously when you're crafting your commons. So, we will yet again do this video in the same way as we have done all the others. We will be looking at only wild cards from Naxxramas up to Kobolds and Catacombs. And we will take first a look at the neutral commons, and then we'll have a look at the class commons, and then branch it into three separate categories of must craft, really good crafts, and worth considering. So, for the last time, let's get started with our neutral commons. So what are the must-craft neutral commons? Unlike rares, there's actually a few. So let's take a look. First, Mad Scientist, a 2-mana 2/2 Death Rattle. Cast or play a random secret from your deck. This card has been seen play ever since it's been made, as its effect is insane, particularly in Mage, whether it be Secret Mage, Reno Quest Mage, Freeze Mage, all the mages outside of maybe Quest Mage. You can pull out your Ice Block, your Explosive Runes, Counter Spell, you name it. The card also has seen play in Spell Hunter, not Spell Hunter, but Secret Hunter, and even Secret Paladin to an extent, and if you're a real memester, Secret Rogue. The card is just insanely powerful. It draws it draws a card and plays it immediately once it dies. It's just very good card. You'll pretty much absolutely never go wrong with this one. It's always going to see play. Very, very, very good card. Next, we have Mech Warper, a 2-mana 2/3 mech. It makes your mechs, it has a passive effect when on the board. It makes all of your mechs cost 1 less. And, well, that's very powerful. It recently was the one of the enablers of Snip Snap Warlock, and now is just used in like hand buff Mech Paladin and other decks like that. It just has always seen play, whether it be from Mech Mage to Mech Hunter as well, which is a deck that doesn't see a ton of play but is still relatively strong. It's just a card that breaks the mana curve, and cards like that typically do very well. And honestly, I could see it one day getting nerfed, and you might get that sweet common dust back, all like, 40 of it? But regardless, it's definitely a must-craft common if you want to play any aggressive-based mech deck, and there are plenty of good options there. Last must-craft is the Pirate Enabler Ship's Cannon, the 2-mana 2/3 minion that deals 2 damage for every pirate summoned. Obviously, absolutely insane with cards like Patches, where you play your one-drop pirate, and you play that pirate, the ship's cannon does 2 damage, and then the Patches comes out, that does 2 damage, and then you cheat out a Parachute Brigand, the new 2-mana 2/2, that gets cast from your hand if you play a pirate, and then you've done like 6 damage with 1 minion played. It's crazy. It sees play in Pirate Warrior. It sees play in Token Druid. It sees play in Pirate Rogue. It's just a crazy powerful card because pirates are just so easy to spam, and, well, damage adds up very quickly, and the body is not easy to remove on 2. Very, very strong card, and absolutely a must-craft if you want to play any aggressive pirate deck. Now, let's look at the really good common neutral crafts. Number 1, Annoyatron, a 2-mana mech, has Divine Shield and Taunt. It lives up, this is like the most perfectly named card ever. It's just super annoying. It's sticky, it works well with any buffs, whether it be Magnetic, Metal Tooth Leaper, anything like that. Just a staple in most mech decks. Not quite the power level of Mech Warper, but relatively close. Very strong card. Definitely worth a craft. And then we also have Mistress of Mixtures, a 1-mana 2/2 minion that has Death Rattle, heal both heroes for 4. Just a staple in pretty much all Warlock decks that don't run Darkest Hour, as it's just early game healing, which you absolutely need in Warlock, and it has Death Rattle synergies. It has Plague of Flame synergies. Doesn't see much play in any other deck outside of Warlock. Honestly, this is pretty much a Warlock card, almost always. But very good card. Definitely worth a craft if you want to play any Warlock deck that's not Darkest Hour or like Zoo. And I would definitely recommend crafting it. Next, we have Firefly, a 1 mana 1/2 battle cry. Add a flame elemental to your hand, which is another 1 mana 1/2. Just one of the best ever 1-drops, at least in terms of card design. It's like really good, but never felt broken, and it still sees play in like odd decks and elemental decks. Again, it's not like really meta right now, but it just always seems to find play here and there, and it's just such a good card that it's definitely worth adding to your collection. As is this elemental, a 1 mana 2/1 Glacial Shard. Battle cry, freeze an enemy minion, or just freeze an enemy. I believe it can freeze face. Yes, it can freeze face. I remember from my Quest Rogue days. Oh my goodness. So this card sees play in decks such as like Treachery Warlock, Shudderwalk Shaman, things like that. Quest Shaman, just very versatile card. Has seen play in multiple decks, continues to this day. Just a very good card. Will pretty much always find a home somewhere and is a relatively safe craft. Then we have Rockpool Hunter, a 2 mana 2/3 Murloc. Give a friendly Murloc +1/+1. Effectively every single Murloc deck out there, outside of maybe anything can happen, Murloc Paladin deck runs this card. It's super insanely powerful. It's a premium statted Murloc that buffs another one. How is that not insane? If you want to play any Murloc deck, this is an absolutely safe craft. It's a very good card and typically finds play. Most recently, I would say in Murloc Shaman, which is a relatively, it's not a strong deck, but it's still a somewhat competitive deck. You won't go wrong crafting this card, and as more Murlocs are made, this card will only get stronger. And last on the list, and probably the most impactful of these in terms of the really good ones, is Fungalmancer, 5 mana 2/2 minion. I mean, those stats are just terrible. Well, it buffs adjacent minions by +2/+2, which is absolutely insane, especially in odd decks such as Odd Paladin and Odd Rogue. Staple there, and just very powerful card. Insane effect. It gives your minions effectively +4/+4 in charge. Super good. Absolutely worth the craft. I have one honorable mention, one common neutral worth considering, and that is Antique Healbot, a 5 mana 3/3 mech. Battle cry, heal yourself, your hero for 8. That is a lot of healing. Mostly it sees play right now in Warlock, specifically Mechathune, as it just gives you time, it gives you healing, it gives you, get to your end game. It's also popped up in decks even such as like Shudderwalk Shaman. You play it because you can constantly reheal with Shudderwalk, and it's all around a very solid card, but it sees very limited play, but it always seems to pop up, so at least it's worth considering. And yeah, definitely a good honorable mention. So that's it for the neutrals. Let's move on to the class cards, which we have quite a few, so let's get going. What are the must-craft class cards? Number 1 on the list is the most broken one of the bunch. This card has been in every Warlock deck in Wild, almost exclusively since Voidlord was made, and that is Void Caller, 4 mana 3/4 demon. Death Rattle, summon a random demon from your hand. Well, you play this, you cheat out your Voidlord, and you win the game. You cube it, you faceless it, cheat out Doomguards, Mal'Ganis. The card is insane. It's way too good. It needs to be nerfed, but it hasn't been for some reason. It's definitely crafted if you want to play pretty much any Warlock deck. It's just so good. Next on the list, Poison Seeds. This is a druid spell, 4 mana. It's a 4 mana druid spell, and it destroys all minions and turns them into 2/2 treants. This is like the best way of resetting a board of giant minions or super buffed minions. Excuse me, and has insane synergy with Spreading Plague, as you can poison seeds and then plague, and then, well, they can't, if the board's full, they can't even kill off their own minions typically, and you have a wall of taunts in the way. It's pretty much a staple in all late game druid decks, and is just a super solid craft. Next we have Totem Golem, a 2 mana 3/4 totem, overload 1 for Shaman. Auto include in every even shaman ever. It's good in any totem deck. Just it's a 2-mana 3/4 with insane synergies with Totemic Might and Surge and all these other cards. It's such a good card in Shaman. It's in every even Shaman deck ever, and you can put it in like aggro Shaman with Tunnel Trog and stuff like that. By the way, I'm not putting Tunnel Trog on the list, even though that card's broke back. It just sees no play. But Totem Golem, definitely a must craft for Shaman. Next, we have a Rogue card, a 1-mana 2/1 Pirate Buccaneer. When you equip a weapon, give it +1 attack. This has been a staple in Odd Rogue, a staple in Kingsbane Rogue, in Pirate Rogue. It's just a premium stat minion effectively with an insane upside. Really good card. Pirate synergies, all the stuff you want to do. Super good if you want to play any aggressive deck, any Kingsbane deck. Buccaneer is an absolute auto-include. And speaking of absolute auto-includes, this one is as basically void color level, except for Quest Mage, is Arcanologist, a 2-mana 2/3 minion, mage minion, battle cry, draw a secret from your deck. Absolutely crazy card. It just, you play Arcanologist, it curves into your 3-cost play, whether that be Kieran Tor and Secret, or just playing Ice Block or Flame Ward defensively. The card is completely crazy and just has been in most mage decks since it's been made. Yeah, and the exception basically being Quest Mage, because we don't run Ice Block in it. If we did, Arcanologist would probably be in the deck. So, super crazy good card. Definitely crafted if you want to play Mage. Next on the list, we have Cabal Librarian, one of the most broken Warlock cards ever made, and it's only a 1-mana 2/1. But what does it do? Well, it has Battlecry, draw a card from your deck, deal 2 damage to yourself. This card is just crazy. You play it on 1, you're fighting for board. It works with Plague of Flames, Defile. It works with a Spellstone if you were to run that card. And you're cycling through your deck. How is this card not great? Pretty much a staple in every single Warlock deck, whether it be aggressive, late game, control. The only exception being Darkest Hour, because you don't really want to Darkest Hour and summon a Cabal Librarian. Absolutely crazy card, and definitely a must-craft auto-include Warlock card. Speaking of which, in terms of auto-include cards, again, we have Oaken Summons, the 4-mana Druid spell. I believe it's gain 6 armor and recruit a minion that costs 4 or less from your deck. And typically, you're just going to run this with Vargoth, or a Vargoth and a couple of high-statted 4-mana taunts, such as Ironwood Golem, Hecklebot, or Zuldrak. That one lately has popped up. You cheat out a giant taunt, or you cheat out Vargoth, and if you cheat out Vargoth, Vargoth will cast Summons again, which will cheat out another minion. It just gives you an insane early game board presence against anything aggressive, and even against like Quest Mage or something. You stick Vargoth, they can't remove it, you snowball the game. You double up on Howl, you double up on Paths, you double up on Jade Blossom. It's just an incredibly powerful card that's been in most Druid decks since its inception, and it's just a great, easy include craft decision. And last of the class cards to definitely be a must craft is N'Zoth's First Mate, a 1-mana 1/1 pirate. Battlecry, equip a Rusty Hook, which is a 1-mana, not a 1-mana, but a 1/3 weapon. And obviously you play this on 1, you can summon Patches, you can get a Parachute Brigand out of your hand, you can combo it with Ship's Cannon as mentioned earlier. Super, super strong card in Warrior, good in Pirate Warrior, good in Galakrond Pirate Warrior. It's even seen play in like Dragon Warriors, and it's just such a good card. You will not regret crafting it as long as you like playing a somewhat aggressive warrior deck. So let's move on to the really good class new commons here, and we're going to start off again with another warrior card, which is Death's Bite. It's a 4-mana weapon. It's a 4/2 Death Rattle. Basically, when you break the weapon, it deals 1 damage to all minions. Staple in Pirate Warrior, a staple back in the old Patron Warrior days. It can be used in just a multitude of different warrior decks, as the damage is insane, and the Death Rattle can proc like Enrage, Acolytes, you name it. Very powerful card, very good card, definitely worth a look. And then we have one of the strongest mechs ever made is a Paladin mech, Shielded Minibot, 2-mana 2/2 Divine Shield. auto include in your hand buff mech paladin. It's usually used in even paladin as well, and it's just a very good card and has seen play pretty much since it was made in GVG. Very good card, definitely worth the craft, worth a look. You probably will not regret it. Next, we have another Paladin minion, Righteous Protector, another Divine Shield minion. This one costs 1, is a 1/1, and has Taunt. Very powerful card in Odd Paladin. You can put it into like a recruit type deck where you just want early game. Very solid. Has seen play in a ton of Paladin decks and will probably continue to see play for who knows how long. Next, we have Warhorse Trainer, another Paladin minion, quite a few of them. This guy is a 3-mana 2/4, give your Silverhand recruits +1 attack, staple in Odd Paladin, staple in Recruit Paladin, and will continue to be that way because it's just an insane effect. Very good card, another very safe craft. By the way, if you want to know why I have to splice a few times, every time I like to talk to my to my camera, this little girl likes to jump on me and start going crazy. So, say hi, Nova. Say hi. 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 Alright, back to the video. Next on the list is Crackle, a 2-mana spell, deals 6 damage to your face if your name is Zeddy. Otherwise, the card says deal 3 to 6 damage, and the variance of this card can be quite frustrating, but a 2-mana fireball is really good, and it can scale with spell damage. So it's been an auto-include in even Shaman. It is used in many Burn Shaman decks, or combo decks, such as like Malago Shaman. It is just always seeing play. Very strong spell. Definitely worth the crap, but be warned, you're going to get frustrated when you roll those 3s or get hit by your opponent for 7 or something, which just, yeah. It can be a little frustrating. Next on the list, we have the Mage Minion Medivh's Valet, 2-mana 2/3. If you have a secret active, it will deal 3 damage, and that can go face or to a minion. Staple it in Secret Mage, has been used in Tempo Mage, has been used even in some like Reno Mages or like Quest Mage, but for the most part, it's a Secret Mage card. Extremely powerful, very good. Will continue to see play as long as secrets are good, and well, when they cost 0 mana to play, they're typically really good. So definitely a safe craft. We also have Swash Burglar, a 1-mana 1/1 pirate for rogue. It adds a random card from your opponent's class to your hand, and well, you get value. You get a pirate, which lets you cheat out patches and have pirate synergies. You played an odd rogue, you played in pirate rogues. Very good card. Has seen tons of play and will continue to see play. And then we have another Mage Minion, Cabal Lackey, a 1-mana 2/1 minion that has Battle Cry. The next secret you cast this turn costs 0, and you play that on 1, play Counterspell, you might counter a Mage quest. You never know, but yeah, cheating mana, cheating secrets is insanely powerful, as is this card. But mostly sees play in Secret Mage, but that deck is so powerful, you can't help but recommend it. Then we have 2 more Paladin cards that kind of go hand in hand. We have Grime Street Outfitter, a 2-mana 1/1 Paladin minion, Battle Cry. Give all minions in your hand +1/+1. This card is very good in hand buff Paladin, hand buff Mech Paladin. Insane synergy with Crystology, as Crystology will quite often draw you this card. Very powerful, can just swing the game, like you hit 5 minions and then you discount them and play them all in 1 turn. You just win a lot of the time. Very good card, as is Smuggler's Run. Similar vein, if you're running Grime Street Outfitter, you're going to be running Smuggler's Run, as it does the same thing, but for 1 mana less without the body. Yeah, very good card. The hand buff decks are pretty good and seem to only get better as more cards, especially cheap minions, are added to the pool of Paladin and neutral minions. Next, we have 2 Druid spells. First being Jade Blossom. It's a 3-mana spell. You gain an empty mana crystal plus summon a Jade Golem. Ramp is good. Jade Golems can be good. Heck, you don't even need to be playing a Jade deck. This is just straight up better than Wild Growth until turn 10, or you have 10 crystals, as it does not give you excess mana because it doesn't draw you that card, as it already has the upside of a Jade Golem. But staple in Jade Druid, in Togwoggle Druid. Very strong card, definitely worth crafting, as is Naturalize, recently Hall of Fame druid spell. 1 mana, destroy a minion. Your opponent draws 2 cards. It's insanely powerful single minion removal with a bit of a downside, which you can use as an upside. As you can mill your opponent, you can fatigue them to death. You can combo with Vargoth and mill the living bejesus out of them. Very solid card in many druid decks. Definitely worth a craft. And then we have Dark Bomb, a 2-mana warlock spell. Deal 3 damage. It's just deal 3 damage. Can go face, can go to minion. Good removal. Very solid, versatile. Used in Reno Lock, Even Lock. Just a good card. Doesn't see a ton of play in like the tier 1 warlock decks at the moment, but usually finds a home somewhere. You can even play it in like a Malagos deck where you can discount it with Emperor and do some crazy stuff. Very good card. Worth a look. And then we have lastly a Hunter spell, Flanking Strike, 4 mana spell. Deals 3 damage and summons a 3/3 wolf. It's staple in most spell-based Hunter decks, not the aggressive ones, but you know, except for like Beast Hunter. I believe Beast Hunter runs it. Just very good removal, and it gives you a beast on the board. It's like Firelands Portal, but for 4 mana and no variants. So very solid craft. Hunter kind of sucks right now, but if you want to play Hunter, Flanking Strike is an extremely powerful card you can throw in there. Now on to the honorable mentions, the cards worth considering, but don't go out of your way unless you really want to give them a go. And I would start with a couple of warrior cards. First being Bash. Deal 3 damage, that can go to the face or to a minion, and gain 3 armor. Typically only sees play in Odd Warrior, but Odd Warrior is a relatively powerful deck when you're queuing in a lot of aggro, so definitely give it a look. And in the exact same reasoning, you would also look at Ravaging Ghoul, which is a 3 mana 3/3 minion, which deals 1 damage to all other minions, just clears up tokens, can activate enrage mechanics, all that, but typically only sees play in Odd Warrior. But as I said, Odd Warrior can do some really good stuff with the right meta pocket, so give it a look. Next, we have Mark of the Lotus, a druid spell. 1 mana, give all of your minions +1/+1. This card is actually insane, and I would put it as a really good craft if Token Druid was better than it is, but it sees very limited play at high levels. But if you want to play Token Druid, this card is an absolute auto-include. It is so good. Because, I mean, look at what we have in Standard with that 3 mana twin spell. Same effect, but it costs 3 times the amount, and it sees play in Token Druids. So, yeah, very good card. It doesn't see play right now for the most part, outside of the Embiggen Token Druid. But, yeah, definitely, if you want to play that, you definitely need this card. Then we have a Hunter Minion. Again, this card is also insane. But again, doesn't see much play because the deck isn't great, but will always find a way into the mix. Is Crackling Razor Maw, 2 mana 3/2 beast. Adapt a friendly beast. And adapt can be anywhere from give a minion poisonous to +3 attack, +3 health, +1/1, and several other crazy abilities. Just doesn't see much play right now, but I guarantee you it will find a way once Hunter, gets strong at some point or the right beasts are made. And now we have a priest spell, Spirit Lash. 2 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions, and then you heal for the amount of damage done. This card was auto-included in a lot of priest decks for a long time, but priest kind of sucks right now, and this spell is used sparingly, mostly from what I see in Big Priest and Reno Priest, both of which don't see much play, but very good card. Gives you healing, gives you AoE, and definitely worth considering. And last on our crafting guide list, we are going to end off with everybody's favorite 4 mana 7/7. Believe it or not, it actually has a name. Flame Wreath Faceless. Yes, I have to read it because I just call it the 4 mana 7/7. But it's a 4 mana 7/7, overload for 2. It used to be like auto-included in Even Shaman, but now it's like a one of or a none of, as it's very totem based, but gotta throw it in there. It's a 4 mana 7/7. It still sees play in sub-Even Shaman lists. And I mean, how can you go wrong? It's just a lot of stats. So at least consider it if you want to play some Even Shaman or Aggro Shaman. And that's it. That is, our series is complete. We have gone through legendaries, epics, neutrals, rares. I hope these videos at least given you some kind of idea if you're thinking about crafting some cards either now or in the future after like the reverted nerfs happen and the next rotation happens. But I keep getting asked about these cards and like what to craft all the time, so I thought I'd put a bunch of videos out. We'll probably update it, do maybe another series in a few months to see where things have changed. But I hope you've enjoyed the series. The reception has been awesome. We've broken like crazy amount of subs for us, and it's been awesome. So we'll figure out some new videos to do. But in the meantime, have a good day and stay salty, my friends. And also, of course, if you like the video, please like and subscribe.